It's timely, it's insightful, it's motivating, it's empowering. It's Time with Fred, your inspirational broadcast with host Fred Gaddy.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to another edition of Time with Fred. I'm really excited about tonight's edition of this program. For those of you who've been watching for a while, this program is about inspiring people, having real people coming on the show to share about some of the inspiring things that they're doing. A lot of them have shared about their own personal challenges and how they've been able to bounce back from that. So we're going to be celebrating an accomplishment from a young lady whom I know personally. And this is really about something that she's done considering the circumstances in which we find ourselves these days. And again, not to dwell so much on what we're going through, but it goes without saying that we're going through some really challenging times in the world in the form of COVID-19. But Kennedy Sloan, who is our guest tonight with her mom, Rachel, is going to be talking about a remarkable accomplishment that given what we're going through. And the average young lady or the average young child going through this may not be so in touch with the reality, but Kennedy is. And without giving too much away out of that, I'm going to have Kennedy introduce herself and then have her tell us exactly what this great accomplishment is. But I really appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thank you. Yeah,
and you have an amazing person sitting by you. Could you introduce who that special guest is sitting next to you, Kennedy?
Well, sitting next to me is my mom, and she's amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rachel, welcome to tonight's edition of Time with Fred as well.
Thank you.
Kennedy, so can you tell us a little bit about what this amazing, well, let me give our viewers a little bit of, we've seen Facebook posts, we've seen YouTube videos of people who are reaching out and giving back, whether it's to the community or whether it's the first responders who are working around the clock to save lives. And you decided to do one of those amazing things, right? By making face masks. First of all, I think that's how it started, right? You got this idea of making face masks and then distributing those face masks to first responders. So how did this idea start for you, Kennedy?
Well, when I knew that I wasn't going to go to school anymore, I was doing distance learning, and me and my mom thought of ways to make ourselves useful. So we were like, let's make some masks. And my mom had a sewing machine, got me a sewing machine, and we finally powered it up, and we made the first mask which was mine. And it was really good. Like, we thought we got all the seams correctly, and we went on YouTube and found a YouTube video and made a mask. Then after that, we were like, well, let's make some for our family members, and we did. And then we got an idea. We should make a business, help people be safe. And our motto is, every order that we receive, we donate some to first responders.
I mean, this is significant in every sense of the word, but just to give our audience a little bit of context, and I should have asked you this first of all. Kennedy, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 10 years old.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 4th grade.
And I'm not sure that I know that many 4th graders or 10-year-olds who are being as industrious as you are, entrepreneurial as you are, with this. I mean, a lot of 10-year-olds, and not to put anyone down, but are probably at home either watching TV or playing video games or whatever. Again, not to minimize what anyone is doing, but you got a brilliant idea. Not to do any of those things. Not that it's bad, but to put your time, in spite of the lockdown that we're all experiencing, to do something as remarkable as this. Now, you did mention that you had the sewing machine around for a while, but what was it that, of all the things that he could have thought about, right? Why masks?
Because we want to keep people safe, and we thought masks would help them be safe, especially because I want to be a doctor. and a cardiologist to be specific.
Mm.
And I thought like we should probably make these masks because people are like seriously need our help. So we really need to help people. And I think that was so generous to donate some to the first responders.
And you're one remarkable young girl, by the way, Kennedy. I don't know that when I was 10 years old or in fourth grade that I knew specifically what I wanted to do with my life. And I bet a lot of adults don't even know what to do with their lives until they're, in their 40s, maybe 50s,
Right.
right? So for you to, at age 10, knowing specifically what you want to do with your life, first of all, as a life coach, I congratulate you on that, because this is one of the things that I do, helping people become the best that they were created to be. So hearing a 10-year-old who is as specific as you are, knowing what to do with their lives at age 10 is remarkable. And I want to say congratulations. And I'm gonna be your number one cheerleader. So by all means, go for it and be the best that you were created to be. So coming back to the face mask, I'm gonna uh, Rachel, how does it feel as a mom, right, of a 10-year-old who is doing such an amazing thing with her
Right.
life, in spite of all the things that she could be doing? How does that make you feel as a
It makes me feel that I'm doing the right thing as a mom and that I'm giving her the resources, but the power in her to, think independently. And I've always done that since she was really little. And she actually started talking about being a doctor at 3. And she's never frayed from that. Like, she is very consistent with that. Now she's adding more to her, her list of things she wants to do, but she never frayed from the fact that she wanted to be a doctor. But also, I wanted to add that, the COVID-19 situation actually hit us personally. My mom is in New York, and she actually contracted the virus and was in the hospital. And Kennedy was, influenced by that and inspired by that as well. To use this as an opportunity to, help the first responders who, personally is, what was helping her grandmother. So that played a part too.
wow? Well, first of all, let me say that prayers going out for your mom, and I pray that how's she doing, by the way? Is she doing okay?
She's doing great. She was in the hospital for a week. She was asymptomatic, which she didn't have any signs of it, but she has the high pre-existing conditions that they speak of, and somehow I think it impacted her in that way. And that's how we found out when she went to the hospital and got tested that she had the virus. But she's out of the hospital and she's doing well. She's a very strong woman. So I was very proud and just happy that, she, made it out, right? So, yeah.
Glad to hear. And I think that's really what makes that brings out the reality of what we're going through. Oftentimes, you hear it in the news and you see the death toll, but you're not as connected until it hits home.
Right.
One of our friends, dad actually passed away last week, also out of COVID. Another friend as well, that colleague actually that I work with, also shared this morning with me on a call that her mom also passed last week. But
Oh,
it
wow.
it brings out the reality of what we're going through. So.
Right.
Kenny, let me ask, what was it that made you think of becoming a cardiologist? How did that desire come about?
Well, I was just looking at TV and I was like, these doctors are working hard to help people. And I was like, well, I love helping people myself, so I felt I should be a doctor too. And I just want to feel proud that people are getting better, because I want to help people. It's who I am.
That's who you are, and I can tell. I mean, you're oozing with all of that. I can tell. I can see that desire, even from what you're doing, really to help people. So it's not one of those wishful thinking things. I can see the realness and the genuineness in everything that you're saying, and I applaud you for that. And I think you're going to be a very, very fine doctor too. This is going to be a very fine story to tell one day when that you become that great cardiologist. You'd remember our conversation today, and remember the things that you're saying, about you wanting to be to be a doctor. So by all means, go for it. And I know you can. But Kennedy, how did you learn how to sew?
Well, when I was in second grade, I took sewing classes at my aftercare, and I think I still had it, I think I still knew how to sew in my mind when my mom got me the sewing machine, so it just bounced back.
Yeah, she actually showed me how to use the machine. I mean, I've
Yep.
never used a sewing machine before in my life, and she taught me how to use the sewing machine. So now I know how to sew using the sewing machine. So I'm her apprentice.
Yeah.
And I bet little did you know back then, Kennedy, when you were learning that you're going to be actually saving lives, right, in the form of making masks for people, especially during this pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you feel when you made that first mask? I mean, what did you do with that first one?
Well, when we made the first mask, I felt really confident in myself, and I was like, wow, I just made a mask for myself. And it was really nice. I was just, wow, amazed that I could do that. It's like staying home, you realize that you can do more things than you think you can. And it's very surprising. I didn't my mom didn't know that she could sew until I taught her to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I bet, right? And one of the things that make this significant for me, I'm taking this personally, like you can tell, right, is the tendency for us to focus on ourselves when we're going through crisis
Mhm.
is really high, right? Because everyone's thinking about themselves, about their jobs, about their families, and for you to think about other people, placing other people, I was thinking about other people as well. That not only should I just make this for myself, my mom, my family, but you're thinking about the people out there who are sacrificing their lives and doing all they can to save humanity. I'm still struggling, Kennedy, to rationalize how you put other people's needs before you. Why didn't you just decide to do something for yourself and not think about the other people? Why did you think that it was important to think about people out there whose lives are on the line and who are working hard to save people?
Well, it's because I like I like to when I see someone else is happy, I am happy. So I feel good when people are safe, you know? It it feels good inside cuz you're like, wow, I helped a person, you know, be safe and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's really amazing. I
Yeah.
just
And so, how many masks have you made so far? Do you have a count? Any idea?
I don't know how many masks I made, but it's a lot. We get orders every day, and it's wow.
Rachel, do you
I,
have any idea?
yeah, we made almost 300 masks. So that's 300 people who are wearing Kennedy's mask, who's being safe and helping to keep other people safe, right?
Yeah.
But we also donated to several organizations. Actually, one of the organizations was the hardest hit nursing home in Richmond, Virginia. So we donated twice to them. I think we gave them approximately 30 masks.
Yeah, 30 masks.
And then there's a friend of mine who is a lawyer and she has to go to court all the time, so we're donating 10 masks to her and her colleagues down at the courthouse. So, people forget about the lawyers that still have to show up at court. They're not getting the attention the nurses and doctors and other first responders are getting, but they're a part of that too. They are part of that system that has to continue. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Kennedy, what inspires you, or who inspires you?
I think my mom inspires me because she does so well in the world, and I feel like I can be like her when I grow up.
Wow. Wow. How wonderful it is, Rachel, to hear your daughter tell you that you inspire her and she wants to grow up to be like you. I mean, how do those words even ring in your ears, right?
I love it. I love it. It, like I said, as a parent, as a mom, you know, you want your kids to be proud of who you are, right? Because it then motivates them to want to even, you know, excel even higher than that. And I think Kennedy, you know, is definitely taking on that torch and running with it. You know, she sees me every day doing the things that I do, and you know, helping family members, helping friends, being a part of organizations that, you know, we do community service. And, you know, she's a part of that. I bring her along with me in everything that I do. So she sees everything that I do. And she's like, wow, like my mom is just not a mom. Like, you know, she's really putting her time and her effort into helping people and trying to make them better. And it shows on her every day. And I'm so proud.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful to hear. Kennedy, I mean, you talked about getting orders coming in every. How do those orders come in? Do they email you, and do they call you? How do you get those orders for the masks?
Well, we have this flyer that we send. My aunt actually made it, and she sends it to people that she knows and she works with. And some of her friends and people she works with comes and emails us, and and our email is sloanbusinessconsulting@gmail.com. And they email us, and then we give them a form that they have to fill out. And once they fill it out, we make the mask and we ship it to them. And that's how it works.
And you know, Kennedy, I'm not sure how many people may be watching right now who are going to be so inspired by this that they're going to be just reaching out to you just because you're such an amazing kid. To have you to have you make masks, right? And I know you just give out your email address, and I'm probably going to be putting it on the screen once this airs. But are you open to that? You might get a couple of orders from our audiences tonight who may be wanting some masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to make them and ship them to them.
How long does it take you to make it? What's the processing time?
Well, it depends on the order. So if you have a big order, it probably take up like to 3 days maybe. And if you have a small order, I could finish it the day they send it to me, like they email me.
Wow.
And then the shipping takes like 5 to 7 days.
About that.
Yeah, 5 to 7 days. Yeah.
You have this whole process down packed. I mean, you're not shooting up. You know how long it takes, and your fulfillment and all. And you just might not know who may be watching right now who would say, I want to mentor. You just might not know, Kennedy. And the reason I think this is significant because a lot of people who have gone on to do great things in life started out as this, right? They started out with something very simple, perhaps a simple idea. And then before you know it, it becomes something big. So, and I'll share the story with you. Before I started this show, I was invited by one of my friends who had her own show going. And so she invited me to come be a guest on her show, right? And so I went there, and by the time I was done, I was chatting with the directors of the radio station, and one thing led to the other, and they asked, Fred, would you be open to starting your own show? What was interesting, Kennedy, was that years before Time with Fred started, I had an idea of doing something like this, right? And so I had the name down. I had it all planned out exactly how I wanted this to be. And so when he asked me if I wanted to start, you know, my own radio show and wanted me to take some time to think about it, can you imagine the surprise on his face when I told him, I already have this. I'm ready to go. I have the name. I have it all planned out. And so sometimes and that's how it started. Within a month, I started this show on the Work FM, and it airs every Friday. Now, of course, with everything going on, I'm doing it from home. But I'm saying this, Kennedy, to let you know that sometimes the simple ideas or the simple things that we often take for granted are the big things, right? I mean, I can tell you story after story of people who started with a single idea, simple idea, thinking, oh, this was just something they were doing. And before they realized it, yeah, it becomes something so big. And so don't despise what you're doing. I think it's great. I think you're doing an amazing job. The future looks bright for you. I mean, great things like besides being a doctor and a cardiologist, I think you're going to be big other important things as well. So I just want to use this time to just say thank you for what you're doing for the world, really. In spite of what everyone is feeling, you could have easily taken this time to focus on yourself and not even think, but just to think about the world at large and giving up your time. It's going to come back to you in ways that you don't even imagine. So keep up the great work, Kennedy. I'm so proud of you, and I'm sure your mom is so proud of you as well. And great things are going to happen to you.
And can I just say something?
Yes, please say
Like,
something.
and it's like I hear every, like, I don't know, on TV or somewhere, they're saying that people are coming up and with great things and making masks and all these great stuff, but it's like a kid actually thought of this idea and is successful. So it's very wow. A kid, a 10-year-old girl thought I can help the world and is successful with it. It's wow.
Absolutely, and that's why yours in particular caught my attention, because there are so many people doing it. I mean, it's not that the people who are doing it aren't that important, but like you rightly said, it's the fact that a 10-year-old thought about this and decided to do something with it. It's the thought process which surprises me, really, which inspires me, really. So if there's anyone who is inspired by your story, I am inspired by your story. And I thought, when I talked to Mom, I thought this was a great idea, and I asked her if it would be great to have you come on the show to share your inspiration with whoever may be watching. And so I was really happy when Mom agreed for you to come on the show. So absolutely, I think it's great. Kennedy, if there's any one thing that this has taught you, right? If there's any lesson that you've learned out of this, what would it be?
I think that it's always the lesson that it taught me is it's always good to help people because you never know when they could help you.
Hmm.
So it's really good to help people. I think that's the lesson that this whole pandemic taught me.
Yeah, it's called the law of sowing and reaping, right? And exactly, I mean, if you do it to others, it'll come back to you, and it's going to come back to you in ways that you don't even imagine. Now, I know you're in fourth grade, and how did your teacher react? How did your friends react when they heard about what you're doing?
They were really amazed and astonished that I did this because it's like they never. I don't think that they ever thought I would do this, but that to actually do it, it's like wow, they're inspired by me, my friends, and my teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw the Facebook ad that your school put out there, celebrating your accomplishment, and I think it's great. Um, there's something about believing in yourself, right? I mean, I'm sure when you started, you probably didn't think that this was going to have as much impact as it is right now. But has it taught you anything about believing in yourself, about believing that you can do anything you put your mind to?
It has, because it made me more confident that I can do a lot of stuff if I just, focus on it and keep my mind on it. I can do it. I can complete it.
Wow. So if Kennedy, there's anyone watching right now as we wrap up this, if there's anyone watching this right now who perhaps doesn't think that they have the ability to touch someone, or maybe don't believe in themselves like you do. Is there any advice that you can give to that person?
I would say that just always try and do stuff because you never know what you can do.
Mm.
You know, you can. It's like I I give that advice that you can do anything. Seriously,
And what
anything you put your mind to, you can do it.
and what if someone, has tried one time and like, this is not working, this is too hard, I'm just going to give up and I'm not even going to try anymore? Any words of advice for them?
Okay, never give up. It's not a good thing to do that because just keep trying. I mean, you can't just give up. You got to keep trying.
Wow. Wow. I'm at a loss for words, Kennedy. Any final thoughts, maybe from you, Rachel? I mean, I want to, for someone out there who maybe perhaps, maybe a single parent, or who has a child that they may have not realized or tap into that potential. I mean, when you even, did you even know that this was what the end result was going to be?
I guess no, I'm going to agree with Kennedy on that. I didn't foresee it getting as big as it did. I was looking at it like, we're doing something good. We started out by, making masks for family members to make sure that they're safe. And this is before the whole mask requirement came out, on the news. So when it started getting big, it was like my sister got involved. So we kind of built this network of people, helping people, right? And so no, I didn't imagine it would get as big as it is, but to see how she has grown into it is amazing, right? So when never give up on kids, okay? They're our future, that's number one, but also their potential is beyond what we can even imagine. And their vision, right? And one of the things that I do with Kennedy is I listen to her as a child. I listen to her. I have conversations with her about real things. So she's very well rounded and aware of what's going on. So I'm very transparent with her. So she does have a level of maturity that maybe most 10-year-olds don't have. But, I let her know that you could do anything you want, anything. I always tell her, don't say I can't do something, because you can do it. You just have to put your mind to it, and some things will stick and some things won't, but you can't give up and you got to keep trying. We don't quit, right? So, even when I put her in sports or anything, she may not like it, but we're not going to quit. We're going to finish it. So I always tell her we're going to finish things, right?
Yeah.
And I love the values that you're instilling, in Kennedy. And like you rightly said, oftentimes we as parents are the ones who have to see the potential in our kids and draw them out.
Right.
Yes, we send them to school to go learn, but I think if there's any one important role model, and in your case, I mean, she rightly mentioned you, right? You inspire her, and I think it validates what you just said, right? You see the potential in her, and you draw it out of her, and you encourage her.
Right.
And if all of us as parents can see the potential in our kids, right, and help them see who they are, help them realize that they can do it, and inspire them, I think we'll be raising amazing kids and bringing out the best out of our kids. So
Absolutely.
thank you for doing that, and Kennedy, again, thank you for what you're doing. I want to place my order. I'm going to place an order. So I will be sending you that email with my order as well. And if there's anyone watching right now who wants to support the amazing job that Kennedy, is doing, of course with the mom as well, the email is going to be on the screen. If you need some masks, or if you just want to encourage her, for the good job that she's doing, please by all means do. And I'm not marketing or advertising, but if we see something great in a kid or someone who's trying to make something great or significant out of their lives, I think it's only right that we support. So if you're watching, you need some face masks. Kennedy is your girl. The email address is going to be on the screen. Reach out to her, and I'm sure she'll hook you up.
Thank you.
Kennedy, are there any final thoughts or any closing words that you want to share to anyone who's watching right now as we bring this to a close?
I think that, I mean, like, about you can do anything, what my mom said is true. I thought that I couldn't make the mask, but I did. So always try, you know?
Yes, if you try and you don't succeed, try again.
Try again.
Yeah, Winston Churchill is one of my my favorite people, right? And it says, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And Kennedy captured that so beautifully in what she said. Try again, in spite of what you're going through. And again, I'd like to dedicate the last few minutes to anyone who's watching whose life may have been impacted. And again, our hearts and prayers are with you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. Stay strong, stay in the fight. Don't give up. We will get through this, no matter how hard you've been beaten by this. We're gonna get through this. Stay positive, and a little encouragement from Kennedy, Sloan, and her mom Rachel, as well as my special guest for Time with Fred. So again, thank you for watching, Kennedy and Rachel. Thank you again so much, and look out for my order in an email.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you,
Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.